All right, Capricorn, this is your January 2021 love horoscope and taroscope. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year and happy birthday, Capricorn. The sun is in your sign in your first house, so you are spotlighted by the universe until January 19th as the sun moves through Capricorn. It's basically a month of review for you. And with all of that energy in Capricorn in January of 2020, we had Saturn and Jupiter sitting in there with Pluto. It's basically an entire review of 2020. What did you learn in all of 2020 and where are you going in 2021? So the sun is in Capricorn until January 19th. The focus is going to be on the self. It's about your body. It's about where you're going in 2021 and making goals. Capricorn is all about pragmatism, long-term goals, making plans, perseverance, discipline, and responsibility. So the more you put toward what it is you want in 2021, the more successful you're going to be this month and in the year to come. Mercury is also sitting in Capricorn. Mercury is the messenger planet. It's what's on your mind. It's what you're planning, what you're thinking. So now is a great time to start writing down those New Year's goals. So first, think about what it is you want. Take some time to review it. Write it down. This is all part of manifesting. Writing it down, talking it out, and then taking small steps toward those goals. That's what makes you successful, Capricorn. You are a master at manifestation. Mercury is going to be here for the next few weeks until it moves into your second house of earned income and resources. The love planet Venus, it's also going to be in Capricorn. It's going to move out of Sagittarius of the 12th house of the subconscious and rest and into Capricorn on January 8th, where it's going to be for the rest of the month. This is great for you. Makes you more attractive, makes you, gives you that harmonizing speech and brings people to you. So it just automatically makes you more attractive when Venus is in your sign. It's also great for business too and money. So again, think about what it is you want in 2021 because now's the time to start setting those goals. The big transits for the month are going to be fairly intense, however, and really what it comes down to is what's happening with Mars. We've talked about Mars a lot in December. Mars is going to continue to make a series of challenging squares, 90-degree angles, over to the planet sitting in Aquarius. So we're going to go through that today, but know that Mars is really the dispositor of all of January because it's going to cause some tension. And these squares are always meant for us to overcome a challenge, to progress into a new level of consciousness that will help us in the future. So while there's always tension in the air, primarily in January, in the middle of January, just know that things do get better as Mars starts moving through Taurus and into Gemini. But it's going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to get through this tense period. So let's start to review. Mars right now is sitting at the anaretic degrees of Aries. It's been in Aries for the last 6 months. For you, Capricorn, that is in your 4th house. Aries is 4 signs past Capricorn. The 4th house has to do with home, family matters, foundation, and the mother. So if any of those themes run true for you and you've been dealing with these themes for the last 6 months, just know now it's coming to an end as Mars is going to finally leave Aries after its 6-month stay and its retrograde period. Now it's going to head into your 5th house of romance, fun and games, sports, children, and investments. So this is also a financial house. January 7th and 8th is going to be an important day. So Mars is going to leave Aries. Now it's going to progress into Taurus. And while it's doing this, it's going to make a series of challenging aspects over to Mercury, which is sitting in your 1st house. And it's also going to oppose the moon, which is in Scorpio, your 11th house. So this has a lot to do with finances, the future. You could face some challenges. Where do you want to go in 2021? But just know that this is just a few days of tension. Mars is also going to start making a series of squares, and it really starts with Mercury, and that starts on January 8th. As I just mentioned, Mars is going to square Mercury and also oppose the moon. So again, this has to do with a lot with finances. Mercury is sitting in your second house of resources. Mars is sitting in your fifth house of investments and funds. So there's this aura of, what it is do you want on the income front? Are you reviewing, your job? And are you reviewing your self-worth? Taurus is about self-worth at the end of the day. That's where Mars is sitting at. So really it's thinking about, where do you want to put your time? Where is your time most valuable? And this also has to do with romance. So think about who in your life is worth your time. Is it a reciprocal relationship? And Mercury is going to start bringing in news. It's the messenger planet of where it is you need to review this as it starts making the square on January 8th. The good news is with this square is Venus, which is moving into your first house of self. It's going to make a harmonizing trine. That's a 120-degree aspect over to Mars. So even if it's kind of a tense day and communication might be a little frazzled, Venus is going to harmonize that. It's a stabilizing energy in Capricorn. Venus does well in Capricorn, while Mars has to slow down as it moves into Taurus. Taurus is a very slow-moving sign. It's known to be a little bit stubborn, but the good news is Mars has to slow down here. So while Mars might be readjusting its fiery attitude, the go-getter, it's what gets us going in the morning, it's our passion, it's our ambition, it's going to make this very nice trine that same day over to Venus, which is also great for romance. It's the divine feminine, that's Venus. Mars is the divine masculine. So when they make this harmonizing trine, it's great for getting out there, putting yourself out there, going on dates, revitalizing romance in your current partnerships, getting out on any of the dating apps. It would be a perfect day for this, January 8th. Mars is going to keep moving through Taurus. That's your fifth house. And now it's going to make a series of pretty difficult squares over to Saturn, which just moved out of Capricorn and into Aquarius in your second house of earned income and resources. January 13th, Mars squares Saturn. We've seen this aspect before, but in a little bit of a different context in 2021. Mars squares Saturn on August 24th and September 29th. The difference here is that Mars was in Aries and Saturn was in Capricorn. So again, it's a little bit of a different flavor, but you're going to see some of the same things start to creep up again of what was happening in that August-September timeframe. Also on January 13th, there's going to be a new moon in Capricorn. A new moon occurs when the moon crosses over the sun. This is great for starting its new beginnings. It's to start the new period. So if you've been thinking about your New Year's resolutions, now is the time to start putting them into action. The new moon brings forth the new cycle before the full moon. There's one interesting thing about this new moon. It's going to happen right over Pluto. Pluto's sitting in Capricorn as well at about 24 degrees. The new moon's going to occur right at that time. Pluto's all about the underworld. It's about revelations. It can be very intense. So there might be some revelations that come out there, especially with the sun. The sun is the light, spotlighting Pluto, the underworld. Secrets could come out this day. You might be revealing secrets this day. Maybe you're revealing what it is you want to bring about in 2021. But just know it. This can be a little bit intense because Pluto is involved. That same day, Venus is going to make a harmonizing trining aspect over to Uranus. Again, this is very nice. Venus-Uranus can bring an amorphous love. It can be great passion. It can bring foreign people, foreign lands, people that are very different from your usual type if you're looking to start romance. But just know, this Venus-Uranus trine doesn't last very long, and these aspects between Venus and Uranus tend to be short-lived. So if you're out there looking, just know, maybe there's some really great passion sitting out there, but typically speaking, this isn't a long-lasting type of energy because Uranus is the liberator. It's about independence. It's about change. So perhaps you're even changing your view of how you're going to approach 2021 in romance. Uranus is sitting in your fifth house of romance, investments, children. Any of those themes here, if ring true for you, it's because of that Venus-Uranus trine. So it is stabilizing, but it doesn't last very long. We keep moving forward. This is where things are going to start getting pretty intense, Capricorn. January 20th, this is Inauguration Day. Mars is going to conjoin with Uranus in your 5th house in Taurus. The moon is going to be there as well. They're all aligning. All 3 planets are going to align in that 5th house. This can be pretty explosive. Mars in Uranus. Uranus it works through shock and awe. It's the great liberator. It produces independence and it wants change. And this can go either way. It can be great change for the positive, or it can bring about some destructive energy in a kind of an explosive manner. And this is all happening on January 20th. So what I would say is just take the energy down as much as you possibly can that day. Realize that people are going to be triggered, and watch what happens in the national news. I think that you'll see some protests and even maybe some rebellion. Uranus represents rebellion. It's all about the change, and the way it does that is through shock and awe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some pretty big stuff happen on the 20th. Again, there's some good news here. Venus is helping us out. Venus is still sitting in Capricorn in your 1st house, and it's going to make a sextile over to Neptune sitting in Pisces in your 3rd house of communication. So even if there are things that are going on that are pretty intense, perhaps even explosive, realize that Venus is sitting in your 1st house. It's the stabilizing energy. You can ground this energy in your communication with that Neptune-Venus sextile. Venus and Neptune is also very romantic and very dreamy. So even if things are fairly intense that day, perhaps you have a romantic interest in mind, it would be a great day to go out on a date or go out and Zoom. However it is you're dealing with this on the COVID front, it's a great day for that. So January 20th, Mars is going to conjoin with Uranus and the moon in your 5th house. That's money, that's children, that's romance. That's also the inauguration day, and then Venus is going to make that sextile in your 3rd house. So watch for communication. Be sure you're stabilizing and grounding that energy as much as you possibly can, because this does involve you, Capricorn. Mars continues its journey through the series of squares. Just a few days later, January 23rd rolls around. Mars is now going to square Jupiter. Mars again sitting in your 5th house of romance, Jupiter sitting in your 2nd house of earned income and resources. Again, this has an element of self-worth, finance, business. And when Mars squares Jupiter, it tends to create premature action. So think before you leap, especially on the 23rd here. Again, there's some good news underlining this type of energy. The Sun, sitting in the 2nd house of Aquarius, is going to conjoin with Saturn. So this brings discipline, this brings responsibility, this brings perseverance. So again, Capricorn, you are the master of discipline and self-preservation. So keep the energy down as much as you possibly can. Take the high road during the 20th and the 23rd. January 26th rolls around. Now the Sun is going to be in Aquarius, so that's your 2nd house, earned income and resources, and it's going to make another challenging square over to Uranus. You can see the theme. Mars and Uranus are sitting in that 5th house. And then all of these personal planets, the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, are all sitting in Aquarius, and those are fixed signs, so they're going to make a 90-degree challenging aspect. So as they start moving through, you're going to see challenge after challenge come up in January. And just know that this is getting us to that next level, but we have to make it through this challenging period first. So the Sun is going to square Uranus. This can be great tension. It's also great for ideas too, and thinking about how to liberate yourself from any chains that bind you when it comes to money, romance, self-worth, finance. But it can create some tension on the 26th. Venus is going to keep moving through Capricorn, the 1st house, spotlighting you, making you more attractive. Becoming the diplomat that you are. And now it's going to conjoin with Pluto at 24 degrees of Capricorn on the 28th. Venus-Pluto is great passion. This is great for going deep into emotion. It can also bring back past life partners too. Pluto is the underworld. It's also about secrets and hidden things. So perhaps some revelations come about on the romance front around the 28th. Then January 30th rolls around and we have the infamous Mercury retrograde. So we're starting Mercury retrograde season again. Mercury is in your second house during this time. Again, this has to do with money, income, resources. So Mercury is going to retrograde from January 30th to February 21st. Mercury retrogrades are always about review, slowing down, and making readjustments through this 3-week period. Mercury is going to go through its shadow phase, which means these are the degrees by which it's going to retrograde on January 15th. So you start seeing inklings and glimmers of what this retrograde period is going to be for you, in particular Capricorn, on that finance front, money and resources on January 15th. So you'll start seeing what it is, the theme is that we need to review over the course of those 3 weeks. January is a tense month. It's got a whole bunch of squares in it. It's all happening with you, Capricorn, because there's a lot going on in your first house. You could be thinking about New Year's resolutions, exercise programs, diet, thinking about the body. It's happening in your second house of resources. Lots of planets sitting over there. Jupiter and Saturn are going to completely make over your second house of resources over the next few years as they travel through that second house. And then Mars leaving that fourth house of home, family, foundation on January 8th, and then moving into the fifth house of romance, fun and games. But it's got all of that tension brewing up because Uranus is sitting right in Taurus, and it's going to be there for quite a few years yet, making over your fifth house of romance, children, fun and games, and sports. So hold on tight. It's going to be a tense month. Watch what happens on January 20th. But we will get through this, Capricorn. You are the pragmatic leader of the zodiac, so you will get through this. Be sure you're capitalizing on that stabilizing energy as Venus is moving through your sign. All right, so let's take a look at love. Mars is sitting in there in your love house. Venus is highlighting you, so that's great for romance. You could meet someone during this time. Be sure you're getting out and putting yourself out there if you're partnered up. It's a great time to start revitalizing those partnerships and thinking about what it is you want in your relationships for 2021. Mars is going to trine Venus. Venus is going to trine Mars on the 8th. Again, that's really great for romance. Venus is going to trine Uranus. That brings in great passion, a lot of fun, maybe foreign, doing something out of the box, essentially, on the romance front. And that's going to occur, let's see here. That's going to occur right around the 8th as well. And then we also have Venus crossing over Pluto on the 28th. So a lot happening with you, Capricorn. On that romance front, good things are coming your way. Be sure you keep the energy stabilized, though. All right. We're going to pull a couple cards from the romance deck, and then we're going to clarify with the tarot. This is a general reading. Remember, these messages will not resonate with all of you. Be sure to check out your rising sign, moon, and Venus. Sometimes those signs, depending on what's happening in your natal chart, are going to resonate more with you for the month. All right. I'm going to give this one more shuffle for you, Capricorn. All of these squares with Mars are leading up to a very big energy that's going to happen in February, where Saturn is going to square Uranus. And we're going to see that energy play out all through 2021. I'll talk a little bit more about that in February, but just know that's a tense aspect too. It's going to really shake things up with how things are going to look for the future. It's got a lot to do, Capricorn has a lot to do with the past. That's Saturn. Uranus is the future. So it's going to be a push and pull with that. We'll get more to that in February, but just know that's the major theme for 2021. But like I said, there's a lot of tension in the air in January, so be sure you're getting plenty of exercise, getting outside if you can, do some yoga to release some of that mental tension. All right, Capricorn, here we go. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Very nice, Capricorn. 2020 was all about relationships. There was a series of eclipses and full moons in Cancer, and the Cancer is your 7th house of relationships. So if you're waiting for something to come in, now that Saturn and Jupiter are finally moved out of Capricorn after an extended stay, things are on the way. All right, let's pull another one. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Look at that, Capricorn. That manifesting work, like I talked about with Mercury sitting in your 1st house, that's great for manifesting. So if you've been looking to take things to the next level, looks like now is the time. All right, let's clarify with the Tarot. Worth the wait and engagement. 3 of Pentacles. Six of Cups. Ace of Swords, very nice. This is the new start. Page of Pentacles. Messages of money. Mercury is sitting in your 1st house right now. Queen of Cups. 4 of Swords. All right, Capricorn. So the angels, again, waiting for love. Worth the wait. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Venus right now is still sitting in Sagittarius. It's going to move out of Sagittarius on January 8th and into the 1st house. So keep an eye on what's happening around that time, because Venus just highlights whatever sign it's in. It does well in Capricorn now that all of Scrooge Saturn is finally out of there. So it just naturally makes Capricorn more attractive, and there could be an engagement, or you could just be taking a relationship to the next level, right? So you could be dealing with, like I said, got a lot happening in that finance route. So 3 of Pentacles, 3s represent finance. You could be working with a group to bring something about. This could very well be someone at work. Maybe you've got some people on your radar. There's 3s always represent options, and with Pentacles, that's you, Capricorn. So keep an eye out on the group front here. The moon is also going to be in Scorpio right around that January 7th and 8th time frame. So that's your 11th house of groups, friends, social networks. So keep an eye out. There could be someone coming into the mix. And then the very next card you have here is the 6 of Cups. So this could be related to any type of service activities. So if you're looking for someone and you're out there providing a service to someone, or you're looking to rebalance, this is also a card of rebalance, right? Making sure that your relationship with yourself and with others is reciprocal. That's essential for you, Capricorn. And then you have the new start. You have that new idea. You have a victory. So again, this relates to that manifestation work that comes through with Mercury sitting in your sign. You're business savvy. You go for your goals, Capricorn. You laid the solid foundation with yourself and what it is you want, and you work on that self-worth. Good things come in, right? And then you got the engagement card, taking things to the next level. So perhaps if you have a couple people that you're dating or seeing, if you're in a partnership and you're trying to work on rebalancing that relationship, trying to take it to the next level, a renewal of that love, it is absolutely coming. And it very well could happen during this January timeframe, because the very next card here is the Page of Pentacles. And I love this for you, Capricorn, because pages represent messages and they also represent children. So you're definitely going to be getting an offer, perhaps in February, to go on dates, maybe take things to the next level. So be sure you're putting yourself out there, because this is great for you, Capricorn. In particular, the earth signs are represented by the Pentacles. That's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So be sure you're taking a look at that all throughout 2021, especially in this January timeframe. Pages also represent children. We just talked about Mars is going to move into that 5th house of children, romance, and fun. So if you're looking to expand the family, you have some family-related cards here, even with the 6th. That's a child here. That's about service. So if you're looking to expand the family, this could very well be a new time, especially with the new start here. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Perhaps you have your eye on a water sign. Cups represent water signs. That's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So we have quite a few planets triggering those water signs. I just talked about the fact that the eclipses in 2020, we're sitting on that Capricorn Cancer axis. So if you've been working on yourself and your relationships, now is the time. You're going to start seeing those rewards come in. The Queen represents emotional maturity. It's having control of those emotions and calling in what it is you want. It's very much an intuitive sign as well. So use your intuition about, if you have a few people on the radar, or if you're trying to take something to the next level, use that intuition to know that you are worthy of love and those cups are coming in. She's a great sign for you. You could also have your eye on a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Neptune's sitting in Pisces right now. Venus is going to come in and sextile Neptune. That's going to be right around that 20th. So, watch for that too. That could be a great day on the romance front, but just also know, there's some challenging aspects with Mars squaring or conjoining with Uranus in that day too. And then your last card here is asking you to just take it slow. This is the rest card. This can also be a healing card. So if you've been doing any healing work, you're very well likely to see some of the manifestation come through that. So again, make sure you're taking things slow, Capricorn. Weigh all of your options, and make sure that you are keeping your emotions in check, because you very well could be triggered in January here with all those squares happening. Let's pull one more card for the outcome. Okay, so it's a 5 of Cups. So you're definitely leaving something behind. I think it's the old idea of what a relationship's supposed to be. I don't necessarily think this is someone leaving you or you leaving them, but I think it's more or less you leaving this old idea of what romance is. So you can bring in that higher love that you've been waiting for, that bigger commitment to go further. This is a great reading, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure you click that like button and subscribe if you like these videos. We'll talk to you next time in February. Have a great January and happy birthday, Capricorn.